Bitcoin bottom end, altcoins setting up to absolutely rip and push to new highs. What charts, what signals are we looking at? Is the USA talking about doubling down on crypto? Not only stacking Bitcoin and doing everything they can to stack as much as possible, but also figuring out mechanisms to potentially use crypto to pay taxes. XRP's pumping, Bitcoin's pumping over $85,000. We're seeing the altcoin market starting to wake up. Have we hit the bottom? Are we about to get into that ultimate rippage everybody is waiting on? Everybody, let's get active. I want to know right now before we get live. Roll call. Who's here? Get active in the live chat. If you're watching on X or on YouTube, get active in the live chat. Let me know what you're grateful for. Are you bullish or bearish as to where price will be at the end of the month? With that being said, let's get into the charts. Let's get into the signals. Let's get into what the hell's going on in the crypto market. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BitLab Academy. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. We're going to be talking exactly about what's going on in this market right now. It feels like it's starting to heat up. We're seeing some incredible signs of life in the charts. First off, what do we see? Bitcoin poking up above $85,000. I opened a 10x long the other day, about, I guess 2 days ago now, that's just sitting there. The liquidation price is down about $75,000, I believe. Because I do think even if we got down, it's a small trade, but even if we do get down and tap into that area, I'd be adding more to that position because I do think we're getting into that reversal territory. And it's not just Bitcoin. We're seeing XRP, seeing signs of life, coming back all the way from the lower channel here, all the way up to this upper level of resistance, which means we may be getting in store for that next leg. But yet again, this could get rejected one more time and come back down. We're going to be talking about that. Solana showing signs of life, also finally getting a little bit more of a higher high right in here, but we have not yet cleared all of these lows. We can actually move this up right in here. This is that area that we're looking at for price action to potentially get rejected at. This is that arbiter. Is this just an impulse or is this going to see follow through? We see Link waking up beautifully, breaking through all of these lows here. This is actually looking incredible. We see Cardano also making its headway to the upside, yet it's not yet able to clear through this sort of trend line right here where we're getting potential rejection set up. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Before we get into the markets and go through some of these charts, signals, levels, I just want to ask you, as you start your day, do you start your day with anxiety and struggle? Oh, what do I have to do today? Oh, it's so much. Or do you start your day with gratitude and finding what you're appreciative of? Also laying out an action plan to make headway on different goals that you have. It's not just work. It's not just life. It's not just romance. It's not just about getting the guy, getting the girl, making more money. No, what is your why? If you're not focused on what you have, then your why is going to be absolutely muddied. Your why is going to be convoluted. Your why is not going to be clear. And if you don't have a solid why, then the what doesn't matter. If you understand your why, you can define what your path is going to be and actually stick to it. If you have a why set up and if you have your gratitude rooted in all the things that you really are grateful for, maybe you're not practicing gratitude. I guarantee you right now, practicing gratitude is the absolute immediate antithesis. I promise you right now that gratitude is the absolute remedy for any anxiety you have. If you focus on what you have and then ask yourself, where can I grow into having more? Then you can absolutely set up an action plan to get further along those paths and basically really make headway in your life while also rooting yourself and being thankful for what you have along the way. What the hell are we doing this all for if we're not grateful for what we have now? Because if you're not grateful for what you have now, when you get these things you think you want or these getting further down the path of life, you're not going to be grateful for those things either. Focus on what you have and figure out how you can grow into having more and giving more and being more. With that being said, let's dive into this. Welcome to the show, everybody. We got a couple hundred people in here. I know several hundred more, if not 1,000, will be popping in here over the next 30, 45 minutes as we do this show. So let's get into it. Roll call right now. Who's alive? Whose ears are working? Whose fingers are working on this keyboard? Let's see you get active in the live chat. Again, are you bullish or bearish as to where price action is going to be at the end of March? I think we are about to have an incredible pump starting to come into the market. We're getting all the signs, signals, and setup that we need to see that upward price action. What are they? What do we want to pay attention to? Well, let's get into it, because looking at this on the daily, we're seeing some green, baby. Now, we can't just get beside ourselves because we're seeing some green in the charts. Seeing green in the charts doesn't mean now's a buying opportunity, unless that was part of your strategy for certain levels and certain setups to be hit. The red a couple days ago, and actually even yesterday, was starting to set up great buying opportunities. It doesn't mean that this buying opportunity has left you. It all depends on what your time horizon is. So when we look at this on the daily, we are seeing green. Wonderful. On the hourly, we're seeing green. We're seeing some jolts of life in the market. So let's talk about it. Let's go through exactly what we're seeing, because we're seeing the crypto market cap is ticking back up. It got down to about 2.4, 2.5, I believe, and now it's at $2.71 trillion. So what are we looking at? And first off, let's kind of go through some of the people that are in the room right now that are getting active on here. We got Bill Brower in here, says finally some green. Renegade Designer says he's lit. Why do these always change every single time? These change sizes. You guys see that? Every time I have to rechange this. What are the liquidation levels? We'll go through those liquidation levels. Alexander G says retweet to be entered to win. That's right. If we get over 30 retweets, or a combination of 30 retweets and 30 super chats or membership joining here on YouTube, we will do a giveaway today. What is she talking about in terms of the giveaway? What are you retweeting? Come over to my page right here on @KellyKellam or @Academy BitLab, and you'll see right here, hit that retweet, hit that like button, show some love, and we'll get him involved. Again, if you're watching this on X, if you make this large like this, you'll see there's a live chat here. Live chat here. Oops. Let's see. Live chat here. Get active. Boom. I see it. It's all in my window up here. So shout out to everybody that's tuned in on both platforms. Now let's go through some of the stuff we want to look at today. That's not what we want to see. Right here. Blood moon last night, this morning. Basically a solar eclipse of the moon. So the planet is between, you have the sun, you have the earth, and then you have the moon on the other side. It basically casts this reddish glow on the moon. And I thought, how interesting would this be if this actually said, I don't know why this is trying to, I don't care about that. Let's go back. Okay, let's go here. I don't know why it's trying to tell me to promote. I've never promoted a post on here. There we go. That's not what I want to see. Come on, one second. Here we go. Boom. The blood moon last night. Wouldn't it be pretty prophetic if that was the signal to the end of this ultimate bearish trend that we've been fighting through right now? Ultimately, so frustrated. What if the red blood moon marks the bottom and we start ticking up from here? Now, why is this? Because the market's down, but it's kind of part of the plan of what we've been seeing from Trump. We have CPI and PPI down too, aka signals that the inflation levels are cooling. We also have these two things here specifically are lined up with what's going on when we have the FOMC meeting next week. I believe it's on the 19th. It's Wednesday, I believe. So is Jerome Powell and the Fed going to I'm not calling for a cut of interest rates, but starting the dovish talk regarding, here's our plan. Maybe we can start looking at getting these rates cuts, the rate cuts happening throughout the year, which would start to buoy the market. It would start to bring certainty back in the market because people will start pricing that in. We also see the global M2, basically the liquidity in markets ticking up, incredibly higher than it has been, over the past couple months. It is moving up. It moved down before Bitcoin. Bitcoin followed. Now this is moving up. Will Bitcoin and markets follow this to the upside? So this is why I've been stacking Bitcoin and altcoins that I believe in, or just sitting on my hands, because future me is going to be so thankful for these great prices, these bargain prices. If we were bullish with prices higher and we've only seen a stronger case for bullishness looking ahead, why the hell are we upset that we had these prices that we should be grateful for? Now, not every coin is going to succeed. I think we're going to see a lot of sharks out there. Basically, the market's eating up some coins, and other coins are just going to get tossed aside by the wayside because the mind share is not going to be there, the liquidity is not going to be there, and the institutional money and VC money and big money players out there are going to kind of pick the winners of this cycle, I do believe. Gesundheit. I apologize about that. I can't, I don't know how to read your name, but it says Bitcoin loves liquidity. Yes, they do. Again, I don't know why these change every time I click on them. So I apologize for that formatting issue. That will come off here in a second. But remember, it's not only the blood moon we talked about yesterday, and I do not trade on this. I am just aware of the fact that we talked about it yesterday. When you look at Bitcoin on the daily and you come over here and you type in moon phases, boom, right here. This has been a pretty, it's not 100% by any means, but we've seen a lot of, look at this, full moon up, full moon failed entirely, full moon up, 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 but then right into resistance and down. Kind of up, but then down. See, it's kind of hit or miss, but right here we got full moon up. What do we got right here? Full moon up, full moon up, full moon up, full moon up. So is this going to play out also with a blood moon kind of signaling the end of the bearishness? We'll have to see. This might have zero relevance whatsoever. It might be something just for engagement. It might be something that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Who cares? We are looking at anything right now that is aligning with whether it's a time basis, a moon cycle basis, a data and statistics basis. And in this case right now, we did get the blood moon last night. Let's continue on to see what happens moving forward. Then what do we got right here? Eric Baltunas and James Seyfarth right here, the two basically ETF OGs from Bloomberg that have been giving us great data on what's going on. This is incredible to see right here. James Seyfarth chart on Bitcoin ETF inflows, which are down. Oh my God, it's down. Let's cry. Down 35 billion from the peak of 40 billion. Down to 35 billion, I should say, from the peak of 40 billion. So 5 billion out. Based on $115 billion of assets under management, that means more than 95% of basically invested cash investor cash has held strong despite a 25% decline. The boomers are showing y'all how it's done. Stacking and holding, not emotionally trading in and out. Longer term view here. In fact, we've seen also 65,000 Bitcoin stacked up by whales in the last 30 days. We talked about that the other day. In addition to the massive increase in the whale stacking into accumulation wallets over the last basically about 6 months, stacking in at levels while we're already above a previous all-time high, whale stack at bottom. So if this, okay, we're above previous all-time high, but if we are regionally much lower where than this price is going, hey, I'm stacking here. I'm following smart money. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm here to follow smart money. Just waiting for the next Trump tweet to tank the US again, says Brandon. You know, it's just been nonstop, right? However, I do think that that's going to be coming to an end very soon. I think they're starting to get close to that downside sell pressure, and whether or not they're trying to create sell pressure or uncertainty in markets to have the sell pressure come in to reset and put the Fed in a position that they can talk about cutting rates. They can't cut rates with inflation up, with CPI up, PPI up, with the markets just breaking to new all-time highs. There's no reason, because there's no stress in the markets. What have we talked about here before on this channel? That is, when the markets are feeling very certain, you're seeing ultimately strong bullishness in markets. What reason would the Fed have to cut? The Fed cuts rates when they think something's going to break or it's in the midst of breaking, so they can curtail the damage that will be done to the markets. So my question to you right now, are you falling victim to all this nonsense FUD about Trump's in office, market's supposed to be going up? He's been in office for about 3 months, 2 months. January 20th to now. So we're seeing a little bit of downside pressure on the markets, but they're also bringing the economy in line to do what they need to do to service the $7 trillion in debt that needs to be refinanced here in the matter of within the next 6 months. They can't do that at current interest rates. So let's get some tariff wars going on. Let's actually bring things in line on a more equitable level, because we have been being taken advantage of. Should we give more? Sure, we're a large nation, but we also need to make sure that we don't disappear as a country because we go bankrupt. So there's a lot at play right now. And I do think that the economic roadmap that Trump is laying out is actually, for those of you paying attention to this data, are able to take advantage of these lower prices before the markets absolutely rip to the upside, because I do think it's coming. Global money, global liquidity is ticking up. The U.S. quantitative tightening is very likely about to stop. And very shortly, we'll start getting the reductions in interest rates. And then what will we have? we'll have quantitative easing as well. And that might be stealth quantitative easing. It might be other mechanisms of quantitative easing. The point right now is, are you taking advantage? If you've been bullish at all in the last 6 months, the prices are at incredible rates. So much and so, in fact, I would argue, and I've said this before, let me go ahead and find that tweet right here somewhere here. Let's see, right here. Matt Hogan from Bitwise basically posted this. He said, just gave a keynote address at the Barron's Advisors an Independent Summit, a gathering of top registered investment advisors in the country. And this is a slide that he shared. This is the best time in history to buy Bitcoin. And I agree with that. I said, why? There's never been a better time to buy Bitcoin. Why? Okay, the price has gone up so much since 2009. You missed the boat. Well, the risk profile was way different all the way up until January 11th of last year when the ETFs went live. All the way up until that point, it was a risk bet. So people got rewarded handsomely for taking on basically a very long endeavored journey Bitcoin would have, or an accelerated journey, which is what we saw once you got the biggest asset institutions, biggest asset managers in history getting behind Bitcoin. And now we have the world governments getting behind Bitcoin. Now, buying post January 11th last year, and especially January 20th of this year, the inauguration of the new president and the new administration, the risk is now to not owning Bitcoin. So this is the best time, risk adjusted, in history. This is the asymmetric bet of the future. And so my question is, what are you doing about it? So we've shared that. I was going to share that later, but we see, although we're seeing a drawdown in ETFs in terms of some outflows, we're seeing the large majority, 95%, have been holding strong in this phase, which is incredible. And then we see Trump, the Crypto Council chief, told industry leaders the U.S. wants to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. There's no limit to the size of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. How are we going to get there? Well, let's consider one of those mechanisms might be, what they say, budget neutral. This does not even take into account Cynthia Lummis's bill, where they're trying to put forward an agenda, a strategy, and pass it into law to buy and acquire 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years. That will likely start with the 200,000 that we already have. And then so that'd be another 800,000 Bitcoin to be purchased. But not considering that, when we consider the executive order on the strategic Bitcoin reserve, it talks about finding budget neutral ways to not spend taxpayer dollars to acquire more Bitcoin. Whether it's also, it's confiscations continue from illegal activities, whether it's also creating mechanism like this. Do you realize the value of gold in the gold treasury of the U.S. hadn't been valued since like 1981 or something? So if we actually value it at today's prices, that would create a bit of a surplus for, basically, you're not taking money from anything. You've revalued it at today's prices. And now you can roll off some of that, 5 billion, 1 billion, 100 billion, whatever it is, and use some of that to buy Bitcoin. This is something that is very much a possibility as to what could happen here, which would be an absolute jolt to the markets if that were to happen. So we've got a lot of mechanisms at play. And then we got right here, let's look at gold. Years of reaccumulating in gold. So this is a price action, push up, accumulation or distribution. Well, clearly it's accumulation because it's broke to, wow, look at this, all the way up to these new highs. And then beyond that, we're seeing a very similar sort of sideways multi-year accumulation in Bitcoin, where you had the push up, the breakdown, the push up, but right up into here. Now this had a lot larger swings. Now, why would that be? It can't be relevant to gold because it's much larger swings. This is a multi-trillion-dollar smaller market cap, so it's a lot more volatile. So these sort of moves in some ways can be looked at very similar to what we're seeing in here. Are we about to get that next leg up? I think so. I don't know about you, but I'm here for it. And then we see right here the capital channels and the investment opportunities within Bitcoin and Bitcoin facing companies is only getting stronger as well. Rex, seen here in Times Square in New York City, we see Rex launches the first ever Bitcoin corporate treasury bond ETF. So you can basically buy into this bond that is buying the convertible bonds from different companies out there like MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet. And there's a long list. This list is only getting longer of companies that are offering debt-based bonds to raise debt, basically raise money to basically buy and stack into more Bitcoin on their corporate treasuries. So you're getting exposure to a broad array of different companies that are investing heavily into Bitcoin as their treasury standard. This is just, it's only getting more and more. I mean, this is, I couldn't be more excited about where we're at, and all of us are ahead. Now we look at what's going on. Bitcoin update. It's happening. Bitcoin is in the process of reclaiming the SMA 200, the 200-day moving average. Such a big level, to be honest. Daily close above it looks very good. So what we're seeing here is we did lose a 200-day moving average. It means it's a bear market, right? That's a traditional classic standard for a bear market. Once you lose it, it's over. Well, that's also for traditional stock market. And you can have deviations on any support or resistance before basically fake outs, bear trap, boom, before coming back up and moving up. In fact, we have seen this several times this cycle. If we turn off the 21-week moving average, if we turn off the short-term holder cost basis, what do we see? A deviation below the 200-day moving average. Perfect accumulation before a massive leg up. And then what we do? We had a large accumulation consolidation sideways, a time-based and price action volatility-based correction, swinging $17,000 to $22,000 up and down for 7 months, boring the living hell out of all of us impatient people in this market. And what we get, deviation below, came back up, bear trap, came back up, bull trap, came back down, bear trap, bull trap. And then finally, look at this beautiful W formation right after the supposed confirmation of the bear market, if you're looking at this in traditional market standards. But what did it do? Came down, basically double bottom here, push up, one more rejection, higher low, and then launched right through it. What are we doing right here? We're basically breaking down below the 200-day moving average as it shows right here. Now, both times this has happened before, there's been some period of time. This is August 21st, all the way over here to October 15th. Almost 2 months under it. Boom, boom, boom. What is this? Comes under it right here on August 4th. Remember that? I remember that big sell-off in the markets. All the way over here to October, almost the same time period. I didn't even notice that until we're looking at this together right now. August to October, August to October. Now, where are we at right here? Now we're in March, breaking below this. Are we going to get March through May, March through June, March through July, August? Or is this just going to be a quick deviation with all this pent-up pressure as we are testing this previous range level, these range highs back over in the zone? Not only that, the CME futures gap, which we have cleared. Are we about to get a massive bearish pressure release and just scoop all the way up to the upside? What do I mean by that? When we're looking at the liquidation levels on the chart, a lot of liquidity above us. There's a little bit of liquidity below us, but all this liquidity, we can see this, 29 million, 85 million, 87 million, moving up, 75 million, 85. I mean, there's hundreds of millions up into the billions of dollars, all the way up into here, 51 million. Right in here, we got 123 million, all the way up through this zone. I mean, huge amount of liquidity, AKA the magnet that sits above us of where price action is likely going to go is where the most liquidity is easily trapped. And so price action moving up through this starts to create short squeezes, which just scoops us to the upside. So we can be frustrated with life. We could be frustrated with markets. We could be frustrated with our romantic partners, our friends. But being frustrated creates no solutions. Being frustrated, dealing with that, looking at this market, saying, what is my action plan? What's my strategy? What can I contribute to? How can I contribute to the scenario versus saying, I'm a victim. Why isn't this going the way I want? Who gives a shit? What is your action plan? My action plan right now is to make sure that I can keep you all educated on a non-biased way of what's happening in this market. My action plan is to make sure I can keep myself educated and non-emotionally reactive to this market. What is the data beyond the price? What is the data that is giving me confidence about what's to come? Well, one, it's my belief in blockchain. Two, it's looking at the adoption rates and the fact that price is falling while the bullish case for Bitcoin and the crypto markets only getting stronger? What are we really debating within ourselves that makes us so frustrated, other than just being over expectant about what we want right now? These markets, trading, investing, they become an incredible metaphor for how you're dealing with life, how you deal with relationships, how you deal with loved ones, how you deal with lovers, how you deal with friends, how you deal with if somebody cuts you off on the road. Did somebody cut you off? Let's stop being whiny little bitches. Nobody cuts you off ever. Somebody changes lanes because they need to be in that lane, not because they're like, I'm going to go get Kelly. I'm going to cut him off and make him frustrated. That's not how the world works. We are here to take advantage of every opportunity in this world. And every opportunity could be, am I upset at this because I'm a victim, or this happened and I get to deal with this in a way that is proactive for my day, proactive for my life, proactive for the people in my life. That's what this is about. Today is all about motivation, because we are coming into the most explosive, exciting time in history. Some of you might feel like you've missed a lot of the boat because the markets have moved so much up into now. Maybe crypto easy mode is over. I don't think so by any means. I think crypto easy mode of it's just scattershot, everything's going up, sure, but there's so much focused opportunity in this market. You just have to look at where big players are really taking advantage of this market, where liquidity will likely flow coming up. That's what we're doing here every day on BitLab Academy, every day with each and every one of you. By the way, I love you. I appreciate you all. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself, especially if you've been riding through it can be frustrating. Being frustrated is not a bad thing. It can be frustrating that it's not happening right now because we thought it would. Okay, let's let go of the expectation. We're keeping you on the right side of this trend through keeping you on the right side of data rather than emotion in this market. Now, it's not bad to be emotional, but use emotion as a signal to look inward, and also how you're going to express yourself outward. So coming back over to the charts, we got some more stuff to look at. Sometimes we got to talk about something other than just the numbers and the money we want to make. No, it goes back to what is your why. We have all this liquidity above us. The data says liquidity is above us. Doesn't mean it can't drop here. It just says the likelihood is we will at least push up into this. Note that I said push up. We may come all the way up here to 87 or even 90,000 and then reject again. Are you upset at that if that happens? I am very much on board of thinking that it's more likely we're going to be resolving to the upside here, but understanding that we've been here before. We also see under the short-term holder cost base, 21-week moving average. We've been here before. We've been here before. There's some work to be done, but for those of you that are willing to do the work, you get to reap the best benefits when we're taking profits later on. It's not easy, because it's very hard to disconnect from our emotional actions in the market. Once you differentiate that and acknowledge your emotions in this market, it also helps you better allocate and be risk managed and understand what's coming and what's going on in this market. Because now we get to the price action. What's going on today? We talked about that under 200-day moving average, but here's a smaller term. Nice short-term pump. Let's spread some hopium here. Bitcoin formed the double bottom. Boom, boom, almost like a W formation, right? Bottom formed. We also have the bullish divergence on the RSI. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Bullish divergence means, right? We're looking at price. Let's ignore the price entirely. We are looking at the fact that the prices on Bitcoin, you see this is a low, and then we have a lower low here. So price moved further down, but the strength index, the underlying strength, boom, we have a higher low, meaning there's more strength here coming in while price fell further. It's almost like you're pulling back a slingshot for a likely, jolt to the upside. So guys, I'm getting very, very, very optimistic here about what's going on. And then it's not just Bitcoin. We're also seeing things with XRP. The SEC post XRP proposal, this XRP proposal document to the website, naming it as a strategic asset for the U.S. The document states that the U.S. will begin a pilot program to use XRP for tax refunds and Social Security integrations. The future is blockchain. In what way? We don't know. There's so many different coins out there. I was talking about it with TJ this morning, talking about all the different opportunities out there. And the fact that there's so many opportunities between Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Avalanche, Cardano. I mean, we could just go down the list. Let's go to the watch list, stuff that I actually really care about. So Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, Hbar, Avalanche, Polkadot, Near, Aptos, Ondo. Every one of these has a promising possibility of a future. I think a good number of these will be around. Some of these will make huge amounts of money for you. The point is figuring out that cross-section of stuff you really believe in, stuff you've done diligence on, stuff that is also going to be seen in the same light by the likes of things like Apple and Amazon and Microsoft and Google, government systems. What's going on there? Where this infrastructure layer is actually going to be built on and utilized, the true utility of these places, not can I make money on it? The money that you're making on it right now is taking a risk bet to speculate on what is going to be the most utilized and where the most money is going to flow. Not everything is going to be the best winner. But when you look back at this and you talk about things that have been building out, like Ethereum, although it's kind of lost this mind share, I still think Ethereum's going to do great. I think in some ways, maybe it's not going to be that 15,000 Ethereum this cycle. Maybe it's only 6,000. Maybe it's only 5,500. Maybe it's only 7. Who knows? But the fact this is one of the largest infrastructure ecosystems in the crypto market leads you to believe you can't really count it out. They have ETFs. There's a big World Liberty Finance is layering into that. But XRP also kind of came out of the shadows for those of us that cast it aside. And now we see that there's it is a U.S. strategic asset. It might be utilized for taxes, also for Social Security and other things like that, global payments. Then you see things like BNB, the other half of the world. We're not as focused on this, but this is, other half of the world, Asian markets. This is massive, $83 billion. I mean, this is larger than Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, Hbar, Avalanche. For whatever reason, it's not in our immediate bubble. But there's plenty of world governments out there, plenty of international corporations and different mechanisms that might choose BNB over the ones that are in our focus. Then you got Solana, which everybody it's right now discounting it because it is a meme coin. No, Solana is a massive infrastructure layer as well that does have a huge amount of corporate interest, and it was listed in that tweet from David Sachs and Donald Trump regarding strategic crypto stockpile. Now, was it just because it's one of the larger market cap coins up here? Maybe. But we also know that they've launched phones. They have a very fervent community, and they do have a lot of things that you see on things like Ethereum and Cardano and Chainlink, in that they have DeFi, they have AI layers that are being built out on it. They have other infrastructure plays and different applications that are being built out in that. There's a lot of mindshare around Solana. And because meme coins aren't doing well right now, remember, take the meme coins aside entirely from Solana. It's a massive layer one blockchain community. But then you got Cardano. And by the way, I was talking with Crypto Crow on DMs earlier today. We're going to get him on Discover Crypto. I'm going to get him on BitLab as well. Massive Cardano proponent and a voice in the crypto ecosystem. Not only is he 7 foot tall, he is a massive, very relevant voice in the Cardano ecosystem, talking, basically bringing everybody up to date on everything going on. He's a massive holder and a pool operator as well. But they have massive integrations coming to Cardano as well. One of, if not the most decentralized coins that are out there. And they've got the midnight upgrade coming out. I can't remember if it's out yet. I think it's coming out, but they're also going to be working to implement Bitcoin DeFi and signing Bitcoin transactions on Cardano. A lot of things coming to Cardano here in the nearish future, and a lot of infrastructure that they've been building into in Africa. Remember Africa? Who cares about Africa? Well, you should. It's one of the fastest growing economies in the world that never really got this sort of digital architecture and infrastructure that we've had for the last 100 years, especially in the last 20 years, 40 years with the digital infrastructure here in the Western world. But they're basically leapfrogging all that, where we have to replace systems. They can start with these blockchain systems. And they're a fast-growing ecosystem. So I think a very smart, calculated bet from IOHK and Charles Hoskinson and Cardano in that regard, let alone all the different mechanisms and aspects of Cardano. Chainlink, working with, to integrate with Swift and DTCC, processing quadrillions of dollars a year. Now, will it be Chainlink be used to send that money, or will it be a combination of Chainlink and XRP, where maybe XRP is the send mechanism, but Chainlink is, the oracle mechanism that's also creating all the checks and balances? There's so much to be done and developed into this space into the coming months, years, and probably 5 to 8 years that we're going to see. A lot of this is going to be shaken out down to where the focus, liquidity, and utility and adoption really does come in. That's why it's important to, yes, Bitcoin as an anchor in a portfolio, but having a diversified altcoin portfolio if you are, because there's no telling which, if you're all in on Solana and Solana has some massive issue, remember what happened to Terra Luna. Luna was in the top 10 and within 48 hours, it was a dead coin. So you need to be very smart, because we are still somewhat in a VC, venture capital. You are retail venture capital betting on which coin is going to have the biggest adoption or the biggest growth, right? And anything can happen, especially as we get the framework for regulations and integrations and utilizations. We've got a lot on the agenda in the crypto world in the next 5 years, and it's going to be a lot of changing and jockeying and flippings back and forth. And there's a lot to be done here. I couldn't be more excited about it, but you just need to be smart here. HBAR also, remember also, don't forget, don't count out the let's come back over here, the made in USA coins, especially if the US is moving in a big way into crypto. Where is the made in USA coins categories? Here we go. Where is made in USA? It is somewhere here. Is it? Here we go. Got XRP, Solana, USDC, Circle, Cardano, Dogecoin, Chainlink, Stellar, HBAR, Avalanche, Sui, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Uniswap, Near Protocol, Aptos. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a crypto index ETF just for made in the USA coins coming out in the near future. Ondo, one of my biggest bets in the market. This and Chainlink are two of my biggest bets in the market. Caspa, still massive community around that. Let's see how they do. Filecoin, it's going to be very important moving into, especially with decentralized and AI and processing. And Filecoin is going to be a very neat thing. They also developed something called the IFPS or IPFS, an interplanetary file system, thinking ahead about when you're trying to store and communicate and decentralized storage through a multi-planetary species, thinking very far ahead, right? Algorand, of course. Render, I think it's still going to do incredible. Optimism, they have the super chain deal that they're doing with Optimism and Velodrome and a lot of the different coins that are within that the Optimism layers. Move, a lot of stuff talking about Move now with the World Liberty Finance getting involved with that. Injective, kind of a very important liquidity blockchain provider with AI for major players, especially if you think corporate or institutional sort of level liquidity needs and stuff like that. Injective, I think, is going to do incredibly well. Of course, Maker within the DeFi space, Stacks, Bitcoin layers, all right, layer 2. There's just so many different opportunities here for made in the USA. And then, of course, one of my favorites, it's probably much further down here, which to me, because I have so much conviction on it, not sponsored by them, Constellation DAG. This is the most slept on coin in the ecosystem. It is $137 million market cap. Orders of magnitude smaller market cap. Yet it has contracts with the Department of Defense, U.S. Air Force, U.S. Space Force, NASA, U.S. Transcom, okay, U.S. Treasury, and it's hypergraph technology, directed acyclic graph, right, similar to HBAR, but done a bit differently, and they already have ongoing multi-year contracts that they've already been working and processing and doing all these things, working effective contracts with the Department of Defense and military and Treasury. And it's only now kind of coming to the awareness of people. And I mean, this is so much opportunity here. So this is one of those coins. Based on the market cap, I'm over allocated to this. But based on my conviction and doing diligence on this, Panasonic's about to launch their blockchain through Constellation DAG, on Constellation DAG. So, guys, I couldn't be more excited about what's coming to this market. Right now is the time to figure out where your bets are going to be, how you're going to diversify, where you want to maybe cut some losses, maybe reallocate, but make sure you're situated because this, although it's been frustrating, we've never had just an easy market, but 2017 was easy, Kelly. 2017 was so easy because it was just a large parabolic curve to the upside. Okay, if it was so easy, well, then explain this to me. This is that large parabolic curve to the upside with 37% drop, another 40% drop, 42% drop, 35%. You get the point. It is not meant to be easy. It's meant to shake out as many players as possible. And those of you that can stack into the right opportunities at the right time, we're having the prices pull back right now, or have been pulling back, but we're seeing some upward movement. We can still get a washout down to $72,000, $73,000, and it would still be well within this bullish structure. So let's remain smart. Let's remain vigilant. Let's remain patient. Let's tune in on a daily basis. Shout out to every single one of you that is here and tuned in. Let me kind of come back here and make sure if we got the 30, we only got 12, so no giveaway today, but I love you guys. I do want to shout out a couple people as we're doing at the end of every show. Givers Gain, I see you guys in here. Make sure you guys are following Givers Gain. Let me find that really quick. First off, before we do that, make sure you're subscribed. Click this little arrow, turn on your notifications. I did almost an hour member stream yesterday that I left open for the first 15 minutes, I think, public. So you didn't need to be a member. If you had your notifications on, you would have seen it. You could have joined. And then once I put it to unlisted in the middle of the stream, you no longer get to, you can stay in the stream, but you no longer see the access to that. But subscribe, hit the join button right there. It's about $1.25 a week. It's a great way to show us some love. Now coming back over here, what was it? Givers Gain 111 right here. Make sure you're following Givers Gang. We're trying to get them to 1,000 subs. They've all just great content there. Also right here, Eric Crown, just featuring different people at the end of my stream, people that I like their content, their positive impact. Eric Crown is one of the earlier ones I watched years ago. I was a member of his channel for a while. Always great content, very, very technical, very unbiased look at the data of what's going on. You can find him at Eric Crown Crypto. It used to be called Crown's Crypto Cave, but Eric Crown Crypto, great content on his channel. And then of course, Crypto Crow, we're going to be getting him on the channel here in the near future. Great content here, long time contributor of crypto content out in the space. Just a good guy. Enjoyed meeting him at the Bitcoin conference a couple years ago. Wonderful. I just appreciate wonderful people in the space that are not out here just trying to figure out how to get max engagement. How do I give content that is meaningful, that can be positively impactful, not just in crypto, but also in your life, because all these things are tied together. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're an emotional trader, you're probably overly emotional in your relationships. If you cheat on your friends and cheat on your lovers and business partners and stuff like that, you're probably cheating on yourself as well, meaning you're not holding yourself accountable to standards that you would really like to see in other people. How about you see them in yourself first? Hold yourself accountable, and then you can ultimately hold basically people in your life accountable. Let's hold ourselves accountable. Let's do good. Let's be better. I love you guys. That's all I got today. Do we got any super chats? No super chats today. Big love to each and every one of you. The end of my birthday week is coming up. Birthday was Sunday. We've just been doing positivity all week. I love you all. I appreciate you all more than you know. I had to flex the fresh haircut today. I've been wearing a hat for whatever reason all the time. It's just easy in the morning. But you know what? I want to look good for you guys. I want to look good for myself. I want to, be as professional as possible and also be an adult, right? So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. There will be a member stream this afternoon. So make sure you got those notifications set and you're paying attention in the Discord, in the Telegram we have. And also, again, I do want to say, anybody that is new here, welcome to the show. Thank you for having tuned in. My name's Kelly Kellam. Shout out to our channel partners, CoinW, L Bank. We got some great stuff coming for L Bank here basically it's starting now. And then of course, Arculus, getarculus.com, use code BitLab 20 for 20% off. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Tex-Mex Biomex, $1.99 from Tex-Mex. Happy birthday. I appreciate it. I'll buy a taco with that because you said Tex-Mex Biomex is the name. A wonderful guy as well. Big love to all of you. That's all I got. Adios, adios, muchachos.